Welcome to everyone to Sauce Time Gaming. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video once again. And today we're going to be covering the best iron sights for medium to long range gunfights. I don't know we have many very clean iron sights for SMGs and snipers, but today we'll be focusing on the assault rifle and light machine gun categories. So if there are any of these weapons you personally really enjoy using, or you'd like to share what your favorite iron sight weapons are, then please let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to read from you all. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on right into things. So, in no particular order, we're going to be starting with the M4A1, the Modern Warfare M4A1, making its appearance here on our list today. Now, we're running the Old Faithful specifically. This is the blueprint that at its due time, it had its sort of reputation where people thought that it caused less recoil on the weapon, but in reality, it was just a visual effect, which still helps, of course, but in reality, it doesn't really give you any extra benefit. But this specific build here is utilizing the iron sights for the OG M16, if you will, and it really does cause a great effect on the weapon visually, again on the recoil. And this is specifically the build that I use, which doesn't hinder much of the mobility part, and I really love the recoil control that it has. Now you can also run a specific blueprint that gives you a bigger sort of iron sight in the circular part on the rear iron sights, and that also gives you a great iron sight overall. So whichever one you want to use is totally up to you, but the M4A1 is the first one on the list. Now for the second one today, we're going to be talking about the RAM, and the RAM's iron sights are okay, but if you find a specific blueprint, for example this reticent blueprint, which actually only costs 500 COD points in the store, you're actually going to be able to get this curve iron sight to it, and it's really nice. I really enjoy it. These high fire rate weapons tend to be really good when you're running an iron sight on them because they don't move as much, or the iron sights don't move as much because of that fire rate. So I'm running this build right here, and again specifically running this curvatured iron sight that's really nice on the RAM. Love to see another Modern Warfare weapon on the list. Now, when we're talking about the Oden now, probably a weapon you would never think to run with iron sights, but if you find a specific build to it, you'll be able to get this very clean Grau-like iron sight that really feels great when you're running it for either close range engagements or even long range engagements. And it's a pretty hidden gem, if you will, but this is the build that you can run for the Oden, the rubberized grip tape and sleight of hand, or you can remove sleight of hand and run a 25 or 30 round mag, since its default mag is only 20 rounds. But I like it the way it is, and I think it's a great option to run with iron sights only. So there you have the Oden. Next up, the original M13 here, and this is one of my favorites. This is one of the weapons that I really loved to use at the very beginning of my time in Warzone with iron sights only. And this is pretty much the build. I haven't found any special iron sights to it, but whatever build you use for the M13, you'll be able to get a very clean iron sight. And because again of its high fire rate, it's a really good weapon to use with only iron sights, and it helps you keep on target as efficiently as possible. And so yeah, there you have the Modern Warfare M13. Now, moving into the LMG category here, the Finn LMG is actually a very clean LMG iron sight having weapon. I think that's the way you want to word that, but this is the build that you can run. You can also change the barrel to maybe the one that doesn't increase your fire rate, but just gives you more damage range and bullet velocity as well as control. But I like to run this one right here to keep it a little more consistent with the fire rate, and I'm running sleight of hand because it is an LMG. Now, I'm not running the tac laser because if you know a little bit about this specific LMG, they went ahead and thickened the tac laser on this one specifically. So when you use this with iron sights only, the tac laser becomes very obstructive, and so I wouldn't really recommend it. But this build right here is pretty good for mobility, and you should be able to take advantage of that iron sight as well for those longer range engagements. But there you have the Finn LMG. Now, moving into the classic, you know, the king of iron sights, the Grau, running the pretty much the standard meta build that you can for the Grau, and you know how it is. This Grau has the cleanest iron sights in the game, I would say by far, and it's pretty much the one of the most consistent weapons for long range engagements, even while using a fantastic iron sight to it. So there you have it for the Grau, the OG Modern Warfare long range assault rifle. Next up, we have the KGM40, one of our recent Vanguard Assault Rifle editions, and you probably didn't know this one, but the KGM40 has actually two different iron sight variants, but they seem to be bugged, so you don't really get any difference in the visual of the iron sight itself. But if you do go ahead and set it up, then you should be able to get the iron sights you're looking at on the clips on the screen right now. And it's a fantastic weapon to use for long range. It's got a very easy to control recoil pattern. It doesn't hit too hard, but at least you're able to land those shots, which in some cases is really the most important factor, landing the shots rather than actually hitting harder. But you should find this weapon to be rather fun using the iron sights, and this is the build if you want to go ahead and check it out. But there you have the KG M40. Next up, we're going to be talking about the MG82. Now, the Cold War LMG here was part of the best LMGs at its time, and it's still very solid, but you do have to control a rather heavy vertical recoil on it. Now, when you were running this specific blueprint for the casino type of style blueprint, you were able to change to any barrel, and you were still able to get this very clean iron sight with only the frontal part of it. However, they did adjust something, I don't recall exactly when, but it didn't happen too long ago, where if you do change the barrel, so you're not using a barrel that is part of the blueprint, then you are getting the rest of the iron sight within the build itself, and it's not as clean as you would get it from the Cavalry Lancer only, which is the only barrel that is part of the iron sight. So make sure that if you are building the MG82, you want to stick to the Cavalry Lancer barrel, which is a little unfortunate, but you will be getting the very clean iron sights that you are looking at in the clips on the screen. So this is the build that I like to run. It favors a little bit more mobility and aiming stability for those, again, long range engagements if you do choose to use it for that. And yeah, there you have the MG82. Next up here, second to last, we're running the OG AMAX. Now, the AMAX is favored as one of the best long-range weapons for quite a while for the Modern Warfare time. But if you do actually remove that 3x Volk optic, you can go ahead and build it for a rather clean iron sight and steady build. I do like to change the Commando foregrip for the Ranger foregrip because you want that extra aiming stability because you're only running the iron sights, and that extra recoil control really helps to keep this weapon solid with only its iron sights, because remember that the VLK sight does give it a little bit of extra recoil control. But with that, you should be able to find some consistent results with the AMAX, and I hope you enjoyed. If you do, let me know in the comment section down below. But this is the Modern Warfare AMAX iron sight build. And before we reach our last pick, I do want to talk about a little bit of an honorable mention here. The MG42 has probably not the cleanest iron sights, but I would say the most interesting iron sights that we can find currently in the game, and it deserves some sort of credit, right? I really enjoyed these iron sights. They're not, again, the most clean, but they're really fun to use, and they help you with giving you some extra ADS time on an LMG, on a rather slow ADSing weapon. So I think it's a very fun option to use. So if you have never given this weapon a try, I would seriously advise you to try this build out. And let me know in the comment section down below if you did find it entertaining, if you do enjoy these iron sights as well, because again, personally, these are one of my favorites. But let's hop on to the final pick. And last but not least here, we're going to be talking about the Kilo. Now, one of the most accurate weapons in the game, of course, including others now based on the Vanguard editions. But if you actually remove the commonly used Corp Combat Hollow sight or VLK-30 optic sight, You're able to get a free attachment here to either use a tack laser or fully loaded if that's what you desire, or even sleight of hand. But you do get some clean iron sights. I've always personally enjoyed the Kilo's iron sights, and this was my go-to fully loaded loadout before I turned to the Grau. And the Kilo is a fantastic, very consistent weapon, and it has rather clean iron sights for its recoil pattern to use. And I hope that you're able to find value in it because, again, it's one of my favorite weapons. And this is the build right there that you saw. And this is our last weapon for today's video, the Kilo. I hope you enjoyed. And there you have it. The 10 best iron sight weapons for medium to long range. Now, let me know in the comment section down below, do you agree with all the picks I had today? Do you have any personal weapon that you really enjoy those iron sights for? If you do, let me know all those thoughts down in the comment section below. I would love to read from all of you. But with nothing else left to say, thank you truly for clicking on today's video, and thank you if you did reach this point of it. Thank you so much for being a subscriber and for watching all these videos. Now, if you did enjoy the gameplay portion of this video and you like those flicks and that accuracy along the ranges, which I hope I was able to show, then go ahead and click on the video at the end of this one, and I think you'll be able to set your settings up, if you're using a controller specifically, the best way possible. But with nothing else left to say, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and until the next one, I hope you always remember, Sauce Time Gaming.